Welcome to Dude RV. Hey, I appreciate you stopping by. And of course, say it with me, you got here just in time. That's right, just in time for a pop-up edition of Friday's Finds. That's right, we're gonna see what the levels are all about. You know, those erroneous tank level measurements you're getting when your black tank says it's 100% full, and you know you just dumped at this dump station. Why is it still showing it's 100% full? Old technology. Old, outdated, inefficient technology. Why it's still being used on expensive investments just boggles the mind. Anyway, I want to give a special shout out of thanks to SeaLevel and Garrett Industries for sponsoring this pop-up edition of Friday's Finds. You know, I'm frustrated. I have been frustrated for a long time. Let's go in here and look at this control panel. I know these tanks are empty. I dumped them. And I know I've got more propane than that. And I know I have more water than that. Why is it that we can link computers chips to the brain, but we can put, you know, people are living in outer space, but we're still using 1910 technology for tank monitoring on even the most expensive motor homes. We're using antique technology. Wait a minute, I'll show you what I'm talking about. You see these right there on the end of our tank. This is our freshwater tank, and you'll notice we've got the wires, yellow, green, and orange. There's actually another probe in this. Those are that tells us how much water is in this tank. It's not real accurate. There's only and they work off of resistance to determine how much water is in a tank. Okay, we need to go outside and look real quick. We're looking at the end of my black tank. You'll notice way up there in that top corner, there's one probe there, and then there's two here, and then that's our common connector. So I actually have that on both black and gray tank on this end. That's where we determine, that's where the signals come from. And the way that works, water liquid is a conductor, and so there's a low voltage charge on one probe, and as water fills that tank, it completes the circuit, so you get 3 measurement points in your tank. And so full is never going to be full. Full is always going to show it at like 70%, thereabouts, because of where those probes are positioned. It's not a very good system using those probes. The probes are prone to being fouled, having stuff on them. It is, and this system has been malfunctioning ever since we've got the coach. I mean, from day one, it's showing the black tank is showing that it has stuff in it. Even though I've spent many hours and I've put gallons of probe cleaner, and we've reached the point in our RV life where we don't put anything other than liquids into that tank. We've eliminated the toilet paper because that was obviously fouling the probes, and the way the tanks are designed, it's just not real. It's not a real great system, but it's the only system we have, except for those probes. Those probes never work. pretty much I only use that to tell me how much, you know, when we've reached full on the freshwater tank. Can never rely on them with the black and the gray. And while trying to find an answer to that challenge, I ran across the SeaLevel system from Garrett Industries, and that was like mind blowing. It's like, well, they've already got this figured out. So I reached out to them and said, hey, this is something that I've struggled with ever since I became an RV fanatic. And I know everyone else is struggling with this as well. And I would really love to share that with my audience, because I think more people ought to know. Manufacturers ought to be using this technology, and some probably are. Now, the interesting thing about the SeaLevel system from the SeaLevel 2 system by Garrett Industries is that they don't do a whole lot of packaging, brand recognition. So when they're packaged, there was nothing to unbox. There was no literature. All of their owner's manuals and instructions manuals is all online, and they are extremely knowledgeable and capable of, and willing. More importantly, they're willing to help you find a solution. I installed this system a couple weeks ago, so I wanted to make sure that I was telling you the truth and providing you with a good answer. We also ran into a challenge because of the manufacturer of our motor home. Some of their units were programmed to work with on the all right, so we have a smart RV. We've got an app on our phone that connects to the multiplex system. I can control light, generator, water power, you name it. It supposedly all works through that app. The only tank levels you're getting are from the antique probes that never tell you the truth anyway. I wanted it, and Garrett has manufactured their SeaLevel system to work in conjunction with most of your nice RVs, provided the RV manufacturer makes one little tweak in their computer programming, and they didn't. So Trudy Thunder, although she's got all this fancy technology, I can't connect the SeaLevel system into the multiplex system. But that's okay, because I'm not using the tank gauge on the multiplex system anyway. It never works. We've come up with a solution. So rather than, I have the power panel inside the RV, but I never use that for checking gauges anyway. I rely more on just the sense of, you just kind of get a feel for things. But what I've done is, so that I can actually have accurate data, SeaLevel 2 has an option for Bluetooth, and they have a Bluetooth app. So I actually have an app for my RV, and now I have an app for the Garrett system, the SeaLevel 2 tank only. And I actually mounted that here in my outside compartment. It's not screwed in yet. I've just finished the install, but I already had power here, and I needed a central location to bring all this together. So I've actually got a sensor for the propane, and then the black and gray are on the other side, and then fresh is inside. Well, I already had power here. Well, this works good, because now I can, so I've got 72% on my fresh, 0 on gray, 0 on black. LP is at 65%, and then battery's 13.5. So I actually have accurate. Well, you gotta see the the technology. It's so simple. Only 4 wires are required. 2 are your sensor wires, ground, which is one of those is a ground wire too. So you got a ground, and then you got your sensor lead, and then power to the little panel. And if you have the LP, you have a lead going to that. Here's the wiring diagram for this module. Here is the sensor, and the same card, the same chip, works on all 3 tanks. And the way you determine which goes where is, so for a fresh tank, you don't cut any tabs. But if you're going to have a gray tank, you cut out one of those. If you're going to have a black tank, you cut out one of those. If you've got a really big fresh tank you need to stack 2, you clip that for I think that's the top. But this one strip works on all of your tanks except for the LP. So really, all you need to do is I ran a separate wire harness for each one, and there's only 3 of these sensors. Here's the app showing my tanks. Fresh at 72. We look over here, that's showing 67%. Gray at 33, black at 33, LP at 43. The LP is not showing up on the app, but the gauge outside is pretty accurate. Very simple. So instead of now Yappy's she's a big multiplex app user. I'm typically not. I'm actually pushing the switches, the buttons on here or down there rather than pulling out the app. So having the SeaLevel app, actually for me, I kind of prefer it versus this, because I know that information is not correct. I know it's not correct. Now I know what's correct. So when somebody says, "Oh, we don't have enough water," I say, "No, that's that one. We have plenty of water." I'm really a fan of the SeaLevel 2 system by Garrett, and I know you will too. I think it's well worth the investment. It's a simple DIY install. You'll be happy you did it. I know we are too. And I want to give a special shout out of thanks to Garrett for sponsoring this pop-up edition of Friday's Finds. Thank y'all so much. If you're interested in learning more about the Garrett solutions to your holding tank challenges, I'll provide you with a link in the description below and a link in the card above. There'll be a discount code in the description below. Take advantage of that. If you've not already, I'd be most honored if you'd consider clicking on the subscribe button. That really helps with that YouTube metric thing. For those of you who have been following along, thank you. I truly appreciate your time and your attention. I know your time's valuable. Thank you for sharing some with me. And for our patrons, your generosity is most appreciated. Thank you. You guys rock. All right, y'all come back now, you hear?